Can you guys hear me? If you can confirm. Okay, looks like we are rolling now, finally. Sorry guys, there was some options which I was not aware to. So, okay, so fine. Myself Keyur, Shah, and let's quickly fast forward it to so my introduction. Right, I'm a former student of GCR, right, and you might have read on the slide previously. So I have completed my computer engineering from GCR in 2012, and currently I am working in a tech lead as Odessa, based out from the Bangalore, right. I started my career as a technical trainee on the .NET side, because when I started my career, I just knew .NET and Java. So that's how, I didn't have much option there. But then gradually I expanded my verticals to Microsoft technologies, JavaScript framework, SQL, and it's been 4 years I'm into the cloud, especially the Microsoft Azure, right? And this is my contact info. You can reach me out on a LinkedIn. Yep. Okay, let's see what's a cloud. So today I'm going to explore areas what cloud computing will bring in to graduates, who are about to pass out or who have 1 more year to go. So the Wikipedia definition, if you look at now, it says like cloud computing is an on-demand availability of a computer resources, be it as data or be it a computer resource network, right? Without users' active interaction, right? We'll see why that definition, what they are trying to say there. So when we say cloud, high level, there are 3 major classifications of public, private, and the hybrid. So they are self-explanatory, what's public, private, and hybrid. But if you have to still deep dive and see what's a public cloud. So a cloud infrastructure is available for a general public, right? People like me, people like you, anyone can go and use the cloud. That's a public cloud. So private cloud is like your own cloud. So let's say you are a multi-billion organization and you went to cloud, but with the private options, right? Wherein you have a better control over entire resources and you have your own security principles in place there, right? And if you say the hybrid cloud, yes, that's a mix of both, a public and a private, right? So why it is important? So if you say that there is a government solutions or maybe a defense solutions, which are sensitive, you cannot deploy everything on a public cloud, right? So you go with a hybrid approach wherein you decide a few of the components are running on your private cloud, and then you have a tunneling done with your public cloud. So you have some public facing interface, but majority of that solutions you are running from a private as well. So you can have a real more good flexibility when you go for a hybrid approach as well, right? So next is, so these are the 3 main classification, right? Those 3 are further classified into another 3, right? Every public private cloud, they are having the 3 more subcategories to it, right? It's software as a service, SaaS, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service, right? Let's start with what's infrastructure as a service. So when somebody says, hey, I'm looking for infrastructure service solutions in a cloud, what does that mean? Right? That means that you are looking for a cloud provider who is ready renting you out or leasing out their own data centers, network interface, the security, and the storage solutions, right? So you go with your operating systems, which is required for your software solutions to run, maybe your operating system on a Windows, maybe a Linux, or Macintosh. So you decide that from that on, all right? If you go on next level, right, platform as a service. So what we get there, platform as a service. Let's say that you have build a website for a GCR, and you know that your website can work on both, whether it's a Linux or a Windows. You don't care about the underlying operating system, and you don't want to do the maintenance of an operating system. You don't want to go to that complex maintenance cycle, operating system patch cycle. So you'll say, hey, I have a website. I just want to deploy it. So just give me a platform to deploy that. So that's a platform as a service, wherein the cloud provider gives you their own platform. They maintain the platform. They are responsible for the up and running of the platform. And the next is a software as a solution, right? What's a software as a solution? A classic example is if you are using Office. So there is something called Office 365, right? You can do your Excel presentation, PowerPoint presentations, Word documentation through online. You don't need a software, even that to be installed. So there is a software out there in a cloud hosted environment. You just go to, you use that and you pay for what you use that. Right. So what is advantage now here if you see, right? You still don't want to have your own software installed in the platform, right? So it can be like, let's say you are building captcha solutions, right? You are having an API which is exposed to all the parties, and they can use your captcha services. So you can deploy that as a software solution. So people will pay you as per your how they use your software, right? So this is another way of representing those three: PaaS, SaaS, and ARM. So on the left side, if you see on-premise, the private cloud, or the today or traditional, not today, I can't say today, this is how, but traditionally, let's say if we have our own website of GCR hosted in our GEC server, which is in our premises, right? What happens there is we have our own server, right? We are maintaining that physical server. It has an electricity supply, a networking is coming on. We have firewall in place. We have to safeguard physically that server, right? We have a cooling system in place. So everything is on our side. We maintain the server's hardware, operating system, security, and on top of it, we maintain our website, right? So if we go for infrastructure as a service, what we say is, hey, we don't want to maintain that server there, right? What we want to do is we just want to host our website there, right? So that the people can get their information out there, right? So you can go for infrastructure as a service, you get your resources there, you host your solution there. Still, there is a chance for or room for improvements that your website does not bother about the underlying operating system, right? You don't need a Windows or a Linux system there. Then you can go for a next as well, a platform as a service. So it's a very high level that this will help you to decide which flavor of a cloud offering you should go with, right? Okay. So this is a Microsoft data center image. I liked it, so I put it on a slide. If you see the scale, at what the Microsoft data centers are, and same goes for the other cloud providers. If you have to build up your own data center, imagine the time required to set up such big facility and maintain that facility goes in. So that's one of the reasons why people are now adopting cloud more and more. Right. So now let's then say, I say the Microsoft, right? So what other providers are there for us in a cloud world, right? So there are many more not only those four, but these are the primary dominant, in the market. Even not four, Microsoft and the Amazon are the big fish in the market that they own a lot of market share. Like I would say 60 to 80% is with these two guys, Amazon and Microsoft. Google is there and IBM is also there, but there are other fours which I haven't put on a slide. Right. So these are the cloud providers, guys. If you have your solutions, these are the providers where you will approach and you will explore the offerings what they have based on your requirements. All right. So now let's, by this time, we see that what's the importance, why we move to a cloud, but let's see in details, I'm trying to say here that less time to production. So what does that mean? So let's say because of this current scenarios, a classic example would be like we are forced to do online examination, because we cannot go to the college and do that exam. So we want to build a system and we want to deploy that, right? So let's say building a system, we are able to do that within a few times, But next comes the server infrastructure as well, where you will host that. You have to go for procurement. You have to go and procure the physical servers, one more servers. Maybe our existing servers might not suffice that, right? But if you go for a cloud, you really cut down that cycle. You come up with your solution within a minute. You are live into websites, your solution, mobile applications, whatnot. So it's really fast. If many of you might not see that, why it's so fast, because if you consider that if you have to purchase a laptop, if you have to purchase a desktop, right, how much time you go for that, right? And now consider that going in an organization level, in a college level, right? It goes through a process. You go for a tendering process, then you shortlist, okay, this provider is giving in this much rent. You negotiate the terms of contracts, and that takes a lot of time, But with the cloud, you come up with your solution within a minute. You are live. On-demand scaling. So, I'm trying to see there? On-demand scaling. Okay, let's take an example of the same this examination portal. What we built on the first one, right? On an examination day, I see here there are roughly 4 lakh students in GTU. Let's say all 4 lakh students are logging into your website. And you might have heard this. Your website is very slow. Because there are so many users trying to browse that, website is slow. Maybe that might be happening on all your result days, right? When you try to see a result, it might be a slow. So when you know that there will be an increased load, increased usability for your website or for your mobile application, right? You can scale your infrastructure within a seconds, right? And you can scale down immediately the moment the requirement is down. So let's say the examination season is for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, you can deploy hundreds of virtual machines there, right? And the moment the examinations are over, you can scale it down to 2 virtual machines, right? So, and the high availability. So you saw that the availability, right? You see that the number of data center servers are there. With that, what happens is you decide the applications, and if you have heard about the RAID, and also you can decide multiple servers available for your solution. So if some server goes down, something else is available. Yeah, it's a very much cost effective in the long run. If you say, if you have to purchase a server today, what it will cost you, considering every other aspect of electricity supply, cooling system, physical security, firewall, maintenance, operating system, whatnot, right? Compared to that, it's really cost effective. You actually pay for what you use, right? If I have to give you an example, let's say you just have need a standard CPU, right? What we usually use on our computer labs, right? If you have to run same workload in a cloud, how much you will end up paying? Hardly a 10 rupees per hour. Yeah. So we are talking in pennies in that case, right? And infrastructure and software management. Everybody knows that there was a time when there was a Windows 7, now Windows 10 is there, and same goes for the server operating systems and other softwares, right? So those software management, infrastructure upgrade, right? There was a time where Core 2 Duo processors were there. Now then the i-series came, and i-series now it's a 10th generation. So those hardware and software are tend to upgrade over a time. So what you are purchasing today will be outdated very soon, within 2 years around the line. So are you ready to upgrade your hardware that frequently? Probably not, right? But with the cloud, you don't have to bother about that. You always get best in standard, right? So that's why people are going for a cloud for every other solution, be it a mobile application, static website, or maybe a dynamic website, or let's say what Nishith is going to talk about with you guys on the machine learning, artificial intelligence solutions, right? Everything works really great out of the cloud. So this slide is to give you a very high level when I say the scaling, right? So in a cloud world, you have 2 types of scaling. You start small, you start with a 4 GB of a server, right? Because when you deployed your online examination software, it was in a test mode, right? Only 10-15 users was testing your software. So that's fine, 4 GB is sufficient, right? And when it goes to a next level, right? That's fine, 4 GB is sufficient, right? Okay, sorry for that. You can upgrade your server on the examination time. You say, okay, now 4 GB is not enough. We need a 400 GBs. You know why we are talking about 4 lakh students joining it. You can upgrade vertically or you can horizontally also scale. So instead of saying deploying 400 GBs, you can say 100 GBs in a 4 different CPUs. So there are a lot of choices available. And guys, I'm talking here in a minute. You can do this scale ups and scale down within a seconds, right? Which is theoretically, if you go for on-prem server, it's very lengthy process. Yeah. So now this is the slide where most of you are very interested in, right? You will say, hey, you talk about a lot of cloud things, fine, but what is in it for you? So these are the very standard 4 roles I'm saying. Every company might represent this role differently. People may not directly name out as hey, this is a cloud engineer, I'm a cloud architect. No, that's not how system or industry will go for. But on a general, if you say I'm a cloud engineer and you are an entry level, like most of you guys are joining today, so you will be a fresher, right? You will be an entry level engineer there. So you might have studied theory subjects in your college. You might have done some practicals as well, or you might have gone through some certification, beginner certification. We'll talk about that. Then comes, let's say you have some experience. You can be an administrator for that. So what does it in it for it? Like there your responsibility increases because you have an experience working with the cloud systems, right? You are monitoring the entire solutions which your organization has it, right? So you will be responsible for health of your infrastructure up and running. If there is some downs, right? You might have heard many a times that particular website is down, right? So what happens? Have you heard anytime the Flipkart, Amazon, Google is down? Yeah, that day also goes down, but for a seconds in a year. But how they are not going down like other government websites, right? For a day, for hours. Because there is an administrator sitting out there who makes sure that if something is going down, the plan B, replicas are spinned up immediately and it's serving the users. So that's an administrator's responsibility there. Then comes a developer, people like me. So who has real good knowledge on cloud as well as a programming language or a machine learning algorithms or AI solutions, So you have one more verticals in your profile, right? So you build a solution which are cloud ready. So there is a difference, which I don't see scope today. I can talk about that, but there is a difference of building cloud specific solutions versus a normal solution. So if you want, let's say our website, government college website, right? There are tricks and there are coding changes, slight minors, If you do that, you can leverage the cloud offerings really well. It's not that what is running today from some physical servers, right? You cannot deploy. You can deploy to a cloud, but you might not be able to take 100% advantage of a cloud. So that's where the cloud developer comes and he knows that how to write a software, be it a mobile application, a website, a desktop application, or any other solutions in the world, right? It's a cloud ready. And once you are really experienced, 8 to 10 years, you can become an architect of that particular organization and you will be driving and designing strategy opportunities for your company and organization. Salary. So I was talking with Nishith, the salary component is not mentioned here because I don't feel that I should be, but believe me, it's a very hot cake in the market. If you have a resume which says you are expert or which says you have and some beginner certification on a cloud, then you have real good jump starts, And yes, having a cloud on your profile will obviously get you 30 to 100% difference from the other engineers or other roles in this list, definitely. Okay, so now you will say, hey, we are a freshers. You are talking after 10 years of experience. That's a different story. But how do, as a fresher, I'm in college. How do I make sure that when I complete my engineering, I am ready for this cloud jobs? People are ready to hire me, because obviously most of the hiring manager or HR will say, hey, no, we can't hire you as a cloud engineer or a cloud administrator. Why? You don't have an experience, right? So as a fresher, that's true. You don't have experience. How do you start that? So these are the few things on the slides. You can explore more. So all these three guys, Microsoft, Amazon, as well as Google, they have real good certification pipeline as well as learning resource. They do provide that on a free. You don't have to pay for that as well. So you can explore the basic fundamentals of cloud. I see that there was a subject when I was part of our education system, but today I don't see that subject there anymore. Maybe its name might be changed there. But you can go there. You decide where to go, whether to go with Microsoft or AWS. You can go for Google as well, but Google's market share is not that gigantic when it comes to like a search engine, right? So dominant players are Amazon and the Microsoft. So you go there, browse those links, and then explore that. The Azure 900 is a beginner certification. It's a very preliminary certification, where you will explore the basic fundamentals. A few slides which I try to explore on the start of the slides, right? On that front, as well as some detailed offerings from the Microsoft side, which you will be exploring as part of Azure fundamentals. Now, let's say you are going for Amazon, so same is that for Amazon. So the concept and the fundamentals of clouds are same in the market. That doesn't change if you change a provider, right? But if you go for Amazon, Amazon also has this cloud practitioner certificate. You can go for that as well. And believe me, this will help you when you don't have an experience, but you still come up with a beginner certification. So this certificate will help you say that, hey, I have knowledge. I have done not a theory class, but I have also tried doing it by my hands. My hands are dirty with the cloud. So only learning from the books or maybe by going through those videos might not help you to land a job, but you have to actually spend time on a portals like Azure portal or Amazon portal, exploring those cloud resources. You have to create your own resources and then get the certificate and you are good to go for the job. So this is where you will start, and this is where I'm going to end my conversation here, right? You can post your questions on the channel. We'll come back to those questions once we are done with the Nishith's presentation as well, right? Okay, thank you guys. And now let's switch it over to the Nishith. Okay. Nishith, I think you are good to go. You can take a control. Hello. Hi, Nishith. Nishith, I'm going to put you on audio in, okay? But I'm not a audio in, okay?
Hello, Keyur. Hello, Keyur. Hello, Keyur. Hello. Hello, Keyur. Hello. Hello, Keyur. Hello. Hello, Keyur.
Yes, Nishith.
Hello. Hello, Keyur.
Yeah, Nishith. Yes, Nishith.
Hello. Hello, Keyur.
Yeah, Nishith. Yes, Nishith.
Hello. Hello, Keyur.
Yeah, Nishith. Yes, Nishith.
Okay. Hello, guys. Okay. Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Hello, hello guys.
Okay.
Hello, hello guys.
Okay.
Hello, hello guys.
Okay. And you are like, mobile is connected.
एक मिनट
તારો વિડિયો બંધ કર્યો તો?
हाँ वीडियो ऑफ कर दो છે
ઓકે, you are like, તારું સ્ક્રીન શેર કરે છે તું.
कैन यू सी माय स्क्रीन नाउ
હા હા,
जस्ट अ मिनट
વિડિયો ઓફ કરું.
हाँ वीडियो ऑफ
પહેલા ચેક કરાઈ જાય, તારો વિડિયો આવી જવા દે એવું બેઠો. તારી વિડિયોને રાખો, વિડિયો ઓન કરતા રહો. નેક્સ્ટ
एक मिनट एक मिनट हाँ वीडियो ऑफ કરી દો છે can you see my screen now just a minute हाँ वीडियो हेलो गाइस हाँ एक मिनट एक मिनट રેડી મારી સ્ક્રીન પર હા વીડિયો ઓફ કરી દો છે can you see my screen now just a minute हाँ वीडियो हेलो गाइस हाँ एक मिनट हेलो गाइस एक मिनट can someone ping if my audio is coming રેડી મારી સ્ક્રીન પર હા વીડિયો ઓફ કરી દો છે can you see my screen now just a minute हाँ वीडियो हेलो गाइस हाँ एक मिनट हेलो गाइस एक मिनट can someone ping if my audio is coming રેડી મારી સ્ક્રીન પર હા વીડિયો ઓફ કરી દો છે can you see my screen now just a minute हाँ वीडियो हेलो गाइस हाँ एक मिनट हेलो गाइस एक मिनट can someone ping if my audio is coming રેડી મારી સ્ક્રીન પર હા વીડિયો ઓફ કરી દો છે can you see my screen now just a minute हाँ वीडियो हेलो गाइस हाँ एक मिनट हेलो गाइस एक मिनट can someone ping if my audio is coming રેડી મારી સ્ક્રીન પર હા વીડિયો ઓફ કરી દો છે can you see my screen now just a minute हाँ वीडियो हेलो गाइस एक मिनट. Hello guys. Yeah.
Okay. चल पहले लाइव करो जो मेरा वीडियो.
Okay.
मोबाइल से वीडियो. Okay.
एक मिनट. Can someone ping if my audio is coming? Ready મારી screen પર video off કરી દો છો.
Okay. You are live.
તારું
screen share કરે છે. Are you ready?
Can you see my screen now?
તમારા સ્ક્રીન આ તમારો વિડિયો આવશે.
Just a minute.
વિડિયો ઓફ કરો.
Video.
પહેલા શેર કરાઈ દે તારો વિડિયો જોવા દેવું.
Hello guys.
પહેલા મારી વિડિયો ને રાખો વિડિયો ઓન કરતા રહો. ऑडियो ट्राई करने से नेक्स्ट चैट में ऑन कर निकल.
एक मिनट. Hello guys. Yeah.
Okay. चल पहले लाइव करो जो मेरा वीडियो.
Okay.
मोबाइल से वीडियो. Okay.
एक मिनट. Can someone ping if my audio is coming? Ready મારી screen પર video off કરી દો છો.
Okay. You are live. તારું સ્ક્રીન શેર કરે છે. Are you ready?
Can you see my screen now?
તમારા સ્ક્રીન આ તમારો વિડિયો આવશે.
Just a minute.
વિડિયો ઓફ કરો.
Video.
પહેલા શેર કરાઈ દે તારો વિડિયો જોવા દેવું.
Hello guys.
પહેલા મારી વિડિયો ને રાખો વિડિયો ઓન કરતા રહો.
Hello.
ऑडियो ट्राई करने से नेक्स्ट चैट में ऑन कर निकल.
પેલા એક મિનિટ. Hello guys. Yeah.
Okay. चल पहले लाइव करो जो मेरा वीडियो.
Okay.
मोबाइल से वीडियो. Okay.
एक मिनट. Can someone ping if my audio is coming? Ready મારી screen. एक मिनट. Can someone ping if my audio is coming? Ready મારી screen. एक मिनट. Can someone ping if my audio is coming? Ready મારી screen.